All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Weeb the People podcast, our AniMonday segment. As always, I am your host with the most, Jay, joined today not only by my two lovely and handsome co-hosts, but also a special guest. We have a lovely show planned for you guys today. So, cue intro music. As always,
that's put us all in the red. Let me turn that
to my right. My guy.
Kenny B, what's up? To my right.
That was a long hesitation. Hey, hi, I'm Cars, and here is our special guest.
Beth. Hello.
Beth.
Beth of the Wild on Instagram.
Thought you were about to do a Pokemon gag of Beth, and Beth.
It's actually the only social media I have at the moment, so.
Okay, so, guys, this is a very special episode because, at the very least, from what Cars tells me, Beth is actually a master's level competitor in cosplay.
Oh my
right? God. That's what he tells me. Yeah.
In theory, yes. I don't know if I should give my whole history.
I mean, we're actually gonna have you go through your whole history, but
I mean, we can pick out in pieces. We can divide the history.
Interview time.
Yeah. Well, so we will. Sorry, my fob came out. Okay, so what we wanted to do is give you guys a little bit of an insight into exactly what goes on in the cosplay industry when things get a little bit more competitive. I know a lot of our fans out here, they just do it casually, but some of you might be considering taking it to the next level and doing some
competing in a masquerade or other competition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, precisely. And so we brought her on here, our good friend Beth, to talk to you guys exactly about the ins and outs of cosplay and what you might need to do if you did want to take your cosplays to the next level into competition areas. So,
and to answer the long-awaited question of what makes Beth tick.
Oh my goodness.
News at 11.
Oh, here we go with the newscaster. A special Easter egg. If you remember our original intro, the 02, that's...
Oh, yeah, that's me.
yeah.
That was a cool one.
Dino Girl in the flesh.
First little tangent. You know that shirt I got you?
Which one?
With
the lewd one?
Yeah. That
Sounds on me.
No relation.
Had to make it clear real quick.
The context there.
Speaking of that,
I thought for the longest time that was 02.
It's very much not.
It's Makima, isn't it?
No, it's just like an OC.
Oh, okay, all right, because
it's neither. It's not like any branded character.
All right, cool, because she looks kind of like Makima.
It's just a lewd animation.
Yeah. All right,
maybe I'll wear that next episode.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay,
because next episode's gonna be the Dojin dealer.
Yes,
perfect.
Yes,
there we go.
Yeah, so look forward to that. But so to start us off, Beth, can you tell us how you got into anime?
Ooh, okay. Well, I was actually thinking about this yesterday because somebody brought up how Pokemon is everybody's first anime if you
now
want to admit it or not. But I actually never watched Pokemon when I was little.
The fact that you say Pokemon instead of Pokemon is a giveaway.
Sorry, there's an accent.
I say Pokemon too, don't.
Fake fan.
I say Pokemans half the time.
I say Pokemon. It's okay.
I'm so sorry.
We won't judge too much.
Just enough to make the show entertaining.
You say Pokemon in the north.
Oh, shit.
A good roast ratio. I guess technically my first anime was Tokyo Mew Mew because I used to watch that when I was little because they had a really bad English dub on it on 4Kids TV every Saturday morning.
Wow, 4Kids.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
But if we're talking about actual anime, it would probably be Cardcaptor Sakura again.
Wow, okay. That is a throwback.
That
is.
Okay.
Again, when I was really, really little, because of course, little baby Bethany, she loved her magical girls. So
that's what they're for.
Cardcaptor Sakura was one of the pioneers of the. Well, I wouldn't say pioneers.
I mean, it was one of the OG series.
Yeah, you had Sailor Moon prior to that, but I mean, geez,
it was early on.
Yeah, mainstream kind of breakthrough with Cardcaptor Sakura.
Still running, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or at least they had something recent.
Have a new I don't know if they're continuing it, but there's Clear Card, which is like a continuation of
Is it still like Lee and Sakura and is this Hero? Is it the
I saw
little
like
lion?
3 episodes, bro.
Oh, Kiro.
Kiro, it's okay, I think Hero.
Kiro.
Just thinking of the dog name.
But yeah, no, and then I collected all the little manga, so I would like go to Bookman's every week, and I'd try to look for the issue that I was missing, and so I had all the little mangas collected. I don't have them anymore.
Sad.
I know.
Ah, tragic.
Yeah, those probably would have been really like worth a lot now.
Yes.
Because I used to go. I had all of them.
Especially if they were like first editions or something.
Yeah, they were like paperback. They were like the first like
Printing.
original English
first print.
translation.
Yeah.
But I had all of them, and there's like a huge chunk of them. Like they'd fill up a whole box because the series was so long. And then they had like a continuation, I guess, of the original series that had like a slightly different cover and like that one. I can't remember. It's been so long. I can't remember what the.
That's cool though. So
ones
the
are, though.
continuation is them basically all grown up.
Yeah, I mean they're in like high school, I guess, because
Yeah.
before they were like
I like
elementary
that.
school.
Yeah.
Gives me the
But,
Digimon vibes.
Because the Digimon vibes exactly. Yeah, I like it
Yeah.
when they do that.
Dude, it's cool. It's especially when you grow older with the series and the characters grow older with you. It's always a vibe.
And then I think in the new one, this might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they kept the original voice actors.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
so-
even better
That's
because
cool.
technically your voice actors will age along with the.
But then again, half these voice actors already play
Are, like,
characters that are like a
yeah.
quarter of their age in the first place. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they kept the original voice actors, or at least some of them. At least for Sakura, anyways, I think it's still the same
Okay.
lady who voices her. So that's kind of cool. But yeah.
Okay, so Cardcaptor Sakura, when did you transition into the cosplay? Because it's
when
'cause-
was it like I need to be a magical
Yeah.
girl?
Oh.
did you find like because the way that I was introduced to anime conventions, my mother and my father watched anime when they were kids, and so they kind of passed that on to me and my sisters. When we were still back in Jersey, my mom ran one of the biggest hotels in Jersey, the Hilton by Penn Station,
Oh,
and a lot of like big events would go on there. And they had some of the first anime conventions in New Jersey at the Hilton. And she knew that we liked it, so she took us to our first anime convention. So that's how we got introduced. How did you find out? Like, what is this? There's an anime convention? Like,
Yeah.
I go to stuff with other people that like the anime?
Yeah, I had a couple of childhood friends who we kind of bonded over like liking a lot of kind of nerdy stuff and stuff together. And they actually were like, hey, there's this thing going on. I'm pretty sure it was Konnichiwa was my first technical convention. Because it used to be at the Holiday Inn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but now it's at...
I'm sorry.
We're going to get a copyright.
I'm gonna edit it so it's unrecognizable. It'll be fine.
DMCA strike.
The robot version.
I have the license. I swear.
Oh my gosh.
Was it Chingy?
Oh god.
Oh my god. Okay,
I think it was Chingy.
Yeah,
I think it was Chingy.
All right, circle back to Beth.
Back to the circles, the rectangles,
So
the squares.
the
Let's
first
go.
convention was Konnichiwa at the Holiday Inn.
At the Holiday Inn.
It was a
Konnichiwa.
convention somewhere.
It was somewhere. I'm pretty sure it was at a Holiday Inn. Or some sort of hotel. I don't
Greg, are
remember.
you listening? Where was Konnichiwa back in the day?
I am pretty sure if I had to put money on it, Holiday Inn.
Okay.
All right, money's on the table.
Money's on the
Was this
table.
also
This is
the
on
first,
camera now. Money's on.
I know, right?
Well, was this also the first cosplay that you did there as well, or just
Or were you a
yes,
filthy
can
casual
call
when you
it
first
that. Well, because
So
of-
you did one on your first convention?
Full send, let's go.
listen.
Okay, we're not comparing it to your current level of work.
Oh, okay. Well, see, here's the thing.
I still think that's impressive.
Even if you wanted to, you couldn't because I have nuked those photos off of the face of the earth. And
Damn it.
I could not find those photos even if I tried.
I wanted to see the OC.
Oh, hey, you know what they say? Once it's on the internet, it never really disappears.
Oh my
One of
gosh.
your
That's
fans will find it.
They
Yeah, they're
better.
gonna see this episode, and next thing you know, our inbox is gonna be like, "Hey guys, I got something for you."
No, you keep that. You keep that buried.
We're like, Beth, how much are you gonna pay me to keep this going?
Find you.
Not the hush money.
Yeah, and then we'll sell it to your biggest fans at the highest bid. We'll buy it at a high price.
Oh.
Bring it back.
Yeah, no, it was like really, really bad. Like I was a child, like an infant child, not quite. And
You de-aged going to this
I
convention.
de-aged going to
She
the
Benjamin Button.
No, she did the vampire lolly thing where it's like, I'm 9,000 years old, now I'm 12.
God, she did the
Oh my
Shinobu. She did the
The
Shinobu.
Shinobu, yes.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, no, it was really bad. But I didn't even like no wig, like nothing. All natural hair. And of course I was like little, so I didn't do like makeup or anything. And it was pretty bad, but you know, we live, we learn, we all gotta start somewhere.
You hear that, audience? We all start somewhere.
all
Everybody
start
nukes
somewhere.
photos
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah.
Oh,
You don't
yes.
see my OG photos that I've taken either.
Hey, at least
Actually, I
you
do
started,
need to
and
keep
look
some.
where you are now.
Yeah.
Aw,
Exactly.
thank
Making the
you.
big bucks at those
Ooh,
competitions.
I don't know.
That's wild.
If only.
If anything, it's the exact opposite.
Making millions of dollars.
The endorsements coming through from Red Bull.
Oh my
I'm speaking
God.
it into existence.
Yeah, manifested.
Kenny just doxed her.
Nah.
Yeah.
No, I think that's actually pretty cool though, because so me personally, like some of my clients who compete in powerlifting, they always tell me I'll compete when I get this like number in the gym, but then they never get to competing. I think that's very similar to some of our audience who might get into cosplaying. They're like, I see all of these amazing cosplayers that I follow on social media. I don't want to put anything out there until I'm confident that my skills are at this level. My crafting is at this level.
And then as you get to that level, it's not good enough. You're like, no, I need to get to this level now.
Oh,
And then I got to
yeah.
get to this level.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's really good to hear from somebody like you who's master's level competitor that, see, you should show some of your earlier
Yeah,
ones.
steps,
Oh my
enter
God.
competitions.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being prepared, but I mean, you gotta start. You never know if you'll even like it at that point. You just gotta start. So
Who did you cosplay?
You Ichigo from Tokyo Mew Mew.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So,
Homage to the first one that she
OG.
saw. That's
homage to the first
respect.
one. OG. That was also the first anime-related tattoo I've ever gotten. Is that?
Oh, that's
little
super
guy.
cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
respect.
From
Wow,
Tokyo
that's
Mew
pretty
Mew.
cool.
Which is kind of embarrassing because
No,
I
it's
always like
fine.
look it up and it's like really.
It's fine.
Guys,
But you know.
I think as far as first tattoos go, there are people who have tattoos that are a lot less tasteful. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. The standard's it's not a high
Oh
bar.
my
at
goodness.
least you didn't get the no regrets.
Oh.
No regrets.
No Rugrats.
No regrets.
No Rugrats.
No
Son's
regrets.
name on the forearm, you know.
Yeah. No, I completely
Even though it's cute.
understand.
Okay, so first cosplay as Yuichi.
Oh, Ichigo. From
Strawberry.
Okay. Yes,
Strawberry,
yes.
yeah.
So fast forward a little bit. When did you decide to make the transition of I'm going to, because I'm assuming that you were doing the cosplays just casually for a
Yeah.
long time. When did you transition from a casual cosplayer mindset to I think I want to take this into competition?
Yeah. Well, when I would say like my first like real competition that wasn't just like here's a participation trophy because you're a cute little kid in a costume sort of thing, but like actually like on stage like
Yes.
competing. I didn't really realize what it was because I was still really young at the time. I knew like it was a competition, but at the time I didn't really like I made my costume, but I didn't put a lot of like
It wasn't like
integrity.
professionally
Yeah.
tailored.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of integrity. There was a lot of hot glue moments going on.
I think that's still most cosplayers right now.
I will say I have not touched a hot glue gun in a hot minute. Well,
It didn't even finish the damn
Actually,
sentence.
I was gonna say I haven't used a hot glue gun on my current project, but that's not true. That's actually not true at all.
It's always okay to use hot glue.
But most of the time, I'm talking like almost everything was held together by hot glue. There was
life.
a little bit of sewing here and there that my mom taught me from like, because I used to make, I'd say like the way that I really got into making costumes.
Okay, so you were talking about how you were crafting, you're sewing the first
Yeah, well, not so much sewing as hot gluing with a
Yes.
little bit of thread and
okay.
needle.
First of all, no, but I was getting like very ambitious with what I wanted. My mom helped me a lot with my first costume because I didn't know how to sew at the time.
That's super cool.
So
Very
she helped me a lot with that. But then I was very like, I want to do this. Insert very
difficult project.
yeah, insert very like ambitious project. And she's like, okay, here's my machine. You're gonna learn how to use it yourself.
You're on your own with that one.
Yeah, so
There you go. Teach a gal to sew. You got her crafting for life.
yeah.
So she becomes a cosplayer.
Oh my gosh.
Teach somebody to sew, show them an anime, it's over.
There you go.
Yep. But yeah, no, because I used to make like really ambitious Halloween costumes every year, and so that's kind of how I got more into like costumey thing. So flash forward to first like actual competition.
stage.
Yeah, being up on stage and stuff. I again, the structural integrity of that costume is really bad, or was really bad.
Did it make it through the competition?
I don't know if I would say that, but
Hot melted in the Arizona heat.
it stayed on my body, and I guess that's all that matters.
That is important.
No, but my first like actual one was Princess Tutu from Princess
It's a movie,
Tutu.
right?
It's an anime.
Okay.
But another little fun fact about me, I grew up in ballet. I've been doing ballet since I was 8. So, or maybe even sooner than that, to be honest. Since I was a
wee little lass.
Since I was a wee little lass, I was doing ballet. So, yeah, so I was in ballet, and I'm pretty sure that's the only reason that I even won that award is because
The showmanship of it.
Yeah, the showmanship of it.
Oh, did you bust out some moves?
I bust out some moves.
So you won your first competition.
I entered in the novice division because it was my first competition,
time.
and I got best in novice. Yeah,
That's still impressive. So
Yeah.
what
Off
were
to a
the,
strong
like,
start.
What were the
Off to a-
feels that you were getting after you won that?
I was like, whoa, what on
It's
earth?
keyboard match sounds.
That's impressive.
Keyboard mashing sounds. No, but yeah, that was. I can't remember if I was quite. I think I want to say that I was on. Well, I don't know. I can't remember if I was on point at that point in time. Point in ballet is when you have those like special shoes
Flat tipped.
that make
Yeah.
you dance on your tippy toes.
Yeah.
It's like a rite of passage to learn how to dance on point. So it's also very complicated and very like hard on your
I can imagine.
Yeah.
feet
Yep.
muscles.
Yeah, it's a lot of
So-
calf strength.
Yeah, a lot of training to get to that point. I remember doing a Princess Tutu cosplay with my point shoes, but I don't remember if I competed with point. I genuinely don't remember. It's all a blur. I'm so sorry.
It's in the past.
I know it's such
But
a
it sets
blur.
the tone for what comes after.
It sets the tone, yeah. But then, actually, fun fact, after that, I didn't really, like, compete for a while after that.
Really?
Yeah.
We're talking like years?
Yeah, like years.
Wow.
Man, what happened?
Yeah, why'd you take a hiatus?
I didn't really from cosplay. Like, I still went to, like, conventions and stuff, but I didn't really compete or anything. Just because, I don't really know, to be honest.
You just weren't feeling it?
didn't do it.
I just didn't do
Just weren't
it.
feeling it.
I'm
Yeah.
imagining like I won it. I won my first one.
Okay, no more.
You know what? Let's go off on a high note.
I can retire.
Yeah.
Thanks, bye.
That's it. I've taken over.
I have a
Farewell.
100% success rate.
There you go. Undefeated. Let's go.
Undefeated. Yeah, but no, I didn't really do anything again after that because I don't really know. I was just kind of like, you know what? I just kind of want to get a feel for like what I'm doing in this thing and all that. Yeah, because I don't think my next competition was until Tayu 2019 when I did Paya.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so
And which one was this?
TayuCon at 2019.
No. You're the character that you.
Oh, Paya from Breath of the Wild.
It's a Legend of Zelda concept.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
the one that Rob and I shot.
Oh, okay. Oh, I
Yeah, the
saw
one we did
that.
at Mount Lemon, yeah.
That was fantastic. Yeah, that was amazing. That was amazing.
Yeah, and it took
It took like 2 years to
2
shoot.
years to actually shoot it, so that kind of gives you a brief idea.
I think it wasn't until Kikori of that year that I met you.
Probably.
Did you win this one?
Oh, well.
As a matter of fact,
As a matter of fact.
undefeated
Wow.
continuation. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I was thinking, dude, if this was 2 years in the making, bro.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Oh
like
my
she
God.
probably swept.
That's
Oh my gosh.
amazing.
Well, no, I was definitely not 2 years in the making. It was like
The victory was 2 years in the making, not the costume.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. I was like, that costume was hecka rushed. But that was the first costume I had done where I had like done things properly, I guess, where like actual like sewing and craftsmanship.
Attention to detail.
Attention to detail, yeah. And like making sure things were like, my seams were pressed and like fabric texture and trims.
Now, did this one stay together?
This one stayed together.
Okay. That's what I
It's
like to hear.
actually one of the only costumes I still have in my
cool.
closet. So
Nice.
you know it stayed together.
That's actually one of the things that I wanted to ask. Like, are there any special considerations that you take into account when you're building something for competition versus something that you're just putting on as casual?
Oh, definitely. I am very like picky about materials and details, and I'm kind of like I'm a detailing kind of person.
It's good.
That's the
Yeah.
best kind.
I really like, I hate like building the actual structural part of the costume because I'm very much I want to do like a little beading design right here that nobody will see. That's kind of my toast, but what is the saying? My
Butter.
Chef's
I don't-
kiss.
yeah,
Go with that,
the
yeah.
butter on the toast. I don't know.
Butter on the toast.
I don't know, man.
Okay, Ed.
Hey man, gotta put the butter on the toast.
That's what, that's what butters my toast.
And you can put a little cinnamon on there.
I don't know what
Ooh, cinnamon toast.
Hell yeah.
That is
Crunch,
good.
with the crunch.
with the crunch.
With
Oh my
the
God.
crunch.
Fucking degenerates in our channel. They're gonna be like, oh my god, she said butter my toast.
No,
Son of a bitch.
please don't bring them back. I get a lot of strange DMs.
They're gonna soundbite and clip
Don't
that.
bring
Like,
them back.
No.
If you're gonna send that shit, keep it in the comments of our YouTube channel, so I'm the one that sees it.
Oh my god. Yeah, I can't read the
Don't
comments.
plug the IG for this one. Okay.
Don't plug the
Don't
IG.
plug the IG. Oh, I'm gonna
Actually-
plug the IG.
Every time I say my Instagram handle, you have to beep it like I just said a
Censor
cursor.
it. If you did say it
Follow me
earlier,
at
I would, yeah.
I actually think that's super cool because I can imagine if you were the type of person who, because you obviously still have to put out the final product, right?
Yeah.
So you can imagine if she's the type of person who's like, all right, detail, but then all those tiny
The details
things
come together.
eventually come together, right,
Yeah.
into a whole, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
it's
sum of
got to be doing
parts.
something.
Yeah.
It's got to be doing something if you're winning all these competitions. Like
Oh my
they-
gosh.
They're seeing the detail.
Listen,
Oh.
They're like, she's got it.
It's kind of like a weird thing for me too, because I'm not really like a fiercely competitive person.
Says the person who always wins.
Oh my gosh.
that's because she doesn't have to be competitive. She just does.
Let's get this out of the way right now. What's your record right now? What's your record? What's it looking like?
Competitions entered and competitions won.
Competitions entered that I can recall,
What's your ratio?
4 and then 3 awards. I think because I did do a competition when I was like a little last.
So you were in like pre-qualification terms.
But but that I don't really think I count because
That was our
yes,
training arc.
That was the warm up. That was the
Well,
the training montage.
qualifying.
If
lap.
you won it,
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were also the only one because it was like the youth category or whatever because we were like kids. This was with me and my childhood friends. We did like a cute little
okay,
we're cute
okay.
little kids. We're gonna do a cute little skit, and so we did get an award, but also like we were children,
Yeah.
so does it really count?
Yeah.
okay.
From the sounds of things, it seems like she's batting 1,000.
I was about to say.
Oh my god.
This KDA is.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm about to say.
Not the KDA.
I killed death ratio.
Oh my god.
I don't know if I would take it that
People are gonna start calling you a modder and get banned from the server.
No, but yeah, so the first one I had done when I like went off my little like competition, like I want to do competitions again, was Tayucon with Aya, and that was the first like actual big sewing project. Like I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna make everything nice and no hot glue, gosh darn it. And
Did you use hot glue?
maybe. There might have been a little bit of hot glue.
Just a little, not enough to count.
Not enough to count.
It's like when it's like rain in Phoenix. It's not measurable, so it doesn't count as rain.
So
Oh my God.
from what I'm understanding, it seems like hot glue gun is disliked by
It's a meme.
by the community.
It's not. Well, see, here's the thing. There's definitely things that hot glue is good for. But in terms of like durability, and especially here in
110 plus.
in 110 temperatures, yeah.
I see people's costumes literally melt apart at
Yeah,
survive,
it's like hot glue is called hot glue for a reason.
People leave their Warbler prop in the car. And they pull out their sword and it's all wobbly.
Oh yeah,
It comes out hot and stays hot.
I've done that before. Left 3D printed things in my car.
Gangsta
And I come
trash.
back out, and it's like plastic soup.
It's like when you were, like when I was a kid playing with army
sword of
guys
soup.
and you hold them fire to them and let them melt.
Yeah.
The sword of soup. Oh,
I had a
man.
3D printed
it's a rare item.
I had a 3D
level
printed master sword, and I left it in my car.
Oh my
And I
God.
took it out, and the blade was like
Link's just like, what have you done?
What was the
False
material
irony.
it was made out of?
oh, it was 3D printed, so it was just plastic.
Yeah, it's plastic.
Oh my gosh.
But I
Yeah,
left
out
it
here,
in,
man.
yeah, I left it in my car, and so
Can you
it
use other materials for 3D printing or just
Yeah.
plastic? Yeah.
I mean, not on basic 3D printing machinery, but on super high end
Gotta be
stuff, you can
advanced
use
one.
like fucking anything.
yeah, but
Like
they're-
there's some car manufacturers that use alloys in 3D printing.
yeah,
Yeah, my
It's like cutting edge
I was dating
technology.
a gal who her dad was an engineer, and he actually had a few 3D printers in his office, and he was using that kind of material.
That's
Yeah,
insane.
dude, I have a buddy who does 3D printing, and he's building a gun right now.
Yeah.
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 I was like, I mean, for display, he's like, no, my guy, this actually will fire.
I was going to say, you
I
can,
don't
I mean,
think
you
that's
can
in
make a
the
plastic
handbook.
one that'll fire once, but then there's also, like I said, the higher end shit you can get pretty high tech.
I think that was in a movie one time. Man, that's insane.
Because HRE did some wheels that were 3D printed for
Wow.
cars that were like super fucking cool. They're basically like impossible to engineer without a 3D printer. And now an automotive manufacturer, Zinger, created the new C12, I think is the model. It's this crazy ass car with like 3D printed suspension and shit.
Jeez,
It's insane. Like the technology is fucking insane.
Does it run well?
It's immaculate. It's like one of the
Yeah.
best performing cars. Right now, it's not like production yet, but like it dropped and did like a lap, and everybody was just like, "Holy shit, this is real."
unless
That's
it's here in
crazy,
Arizona, it's
man.
gonna melt.
It is not plastic. It is not plastic.
The car was super.
plastic car.
Yeah.
It's funny because, like, you know how cars usually run better if it's like the surface that they're running on is hot.
Yeah.
Here it'll
yeah.
melt.
Yeah. The tires melt and everything.
Okay, circle back.
Oh my gosh.
The next question that I wanted to ask you was, so when they're judging you for these competitions, is it just based on how your build is, or are there like other aspects that you have to do? Like, is there like a performance aspect? There's like a Q&A, you know, kind of like how if you were in a pageant or something along those
Yeah.
lines, right? Like, is there any other aspect that they're judging on besides the build?
Yes, I would say it very much depends on what kind of competition you do. I know at like Comic-Cons and stuff tend to have more of a performance sort of aspect to it. Whereas I feel like, this is just my opinion, but I feel like anime conventions and they're kind of more focused on craftsmanship. Not that Comic-Cons and stuff aren't, but I feel like maybe a little bit more
The weight of one over the
craftsmanship.
other.
Yeah, but then I feel like Comic Cons and like video game cons tend to be more
Entertainment based.
and entertainment based. Not that they don't judge you on your craftsmanship
Right.
as well, but I think it's just like the little level is a little skewed in one direction or the other. That's just my experience, but I think it really depends on where you go.
Okay.
And like what the competition is, because every competition has different rules and stuff. It's just really important to read the rules because
Read the rules.
read the rules.
kids.
Please read the rules because there's a lot of like, there's also a lot of really just kind of like weird rules that maybe you wouldn't even think about. Because like, for example, I know for like anime conventions, because I think I've only ever competed at anime conventions, but that's because I'm
Weeb.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, because I know where I've seen some of the pre-judging events where they ask for like proof of your craftsmanship. Like, did you
Yes.
actually make this yourself and everything?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have liars.
Have you been at any competitions where you've had to bring out that performance-esque vibe for them?
Yeah, like you said, you kind of tried to incorporate the ballerina aspect. to
Yeah.
Princess
Yeah,
Tutu,
for
anything like
Princess
that? Yeah.
Tutu, yeah, for Princess Tutu, I did a actually a piece from Swan Lake.
Oh.
Yeah. I was
Classic.
I was an ambitious little girl. But yeah, definitely. And that's kind of the reason why I think I won that competition because, ooh, goodness, that costume
Yeah.
was falling apart. But yeah, I try to kind of find the balance. Nowadays, I kind of just like I'm very much in every aspect of my life, I'm very like control freak oriented. But then when it comes to cosplay, I'm just kind of like whatever happens, happens. I'm just gonna go with the flow. It's like my one thing that I can just be like, yeah, I'll meet that problem when I get there.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing because if you're the type of person who's very meticulous with the details, even if your attitude was like, okay, this competition is going to go the way it's going to go, if you were meticulous with how you built it, it's probably going to be, you're probably going to bat 1,000.
Yeah.
It seems like she's batting 1,000.
That does segue into a question of handling the stress of prepping for a competition.
That's why I think I tend to kind of just like wing the performance part of it, because if I think too much about it, then I'll stress out too much about it. So I kind of just am like, I'm just gonna get on stage and figure out what I'm doing when I get on stage.
Yeah,
Just vibe with it.
I can only imagine. I got stage fright. Like, you guys going up there in your craftsmanship, and showing it
The whole
off.
judges accurately watching you.
Yeah, and I don't understand
Judges
what
with
it
their
is because
glasses
like
looking at you.
growing up in ballet, like growing up in dance, you'd think I'd be kind of over that stage fright thing, but I really am not. If anything, I feel like it's gotten worse as I've gotten older.
I feel like that's understandable. Like you're showing off something that you made and put a lot of work into.
Put your
that you
whole
feel
heart
good.
and soul into.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's completely understandable.
And you're putting out there to be like actually judged by other people.
That's another thing.
Yeah, it's not even like a passive, it's just a picture line. It's like, I am here actively being judged to score in a competition.
Yeah.
And then I have and then I have an audience in front of me. Sorry, Ray.
Sorry, Ray. But yeah, no, because I guess all of my competitions that I've done like a little dancey dance.
I mean, even you've been doing like little dancey dances.
A little dancey dance. I'm just a little dancey dance person. I don't know. Yeah, but
To the
for
Twitter bio.
Beth,
for
dancey dance person.
Oh my god.
That's gonna be. I'm putting a little tagline instead of putting Beth. I'm gonna put dancey dance person.
A little dancey dance
person.
person. A little dancey dance. But for Tayo 2019, the first like serious competition.
Whoa, things just got narrator tone.
I know things just got scary. I did a little dancey dance as Paya to the Kakariko Village the theme song. But yeah, no, fun fact about that convention, because I'm kind of proud of it. It made me feel a little warm and fuzzy inside.
Ooh.
I actually entered that competition also in the novice division because I'd been a couple of years since I had competed, and I had really only competed once before. It had been a while and I was kind of nervy, so I entered
you're
in.
testing the waters again.
Testing the waters, did my toes in a little bit.
So this was back from the hiatus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
This is in 2019. I entered in Paya in the novice division, and they actually bumped me up to journeyman.
Oh,
And-
Because look, it's not fair to the others in this category.
so did they say your craftsmanship is kind of above novice? We can't put you with the other novices because
It's unbalanced.
okay. Was it
The
something
gameplay
like
is not
that?
balanced.
I would assume so. They never really told me. They were just kind of like,
That's usually wise to balance the competition more.
yeah. Well, because I remember kind of sitting in the audience after my performance, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna announce all the awards," and they announced all the awards for the novice division, and I was
right
like,
there.
"Aw, you don't win anything."
So they didn't tell you prior that they bumped you up a class? Oh,
Sometimes they
What?
decide after, because they'll see the performance or costume on stage, and then then when they go to debate afterwards, the judges go back and debate. Then they're like, "Yo, we should move this person up."
Yeah, if
And
they
then they
feel
come
like
back.
they,
Oh, okay.
yeah, if
so
they
it's
feel,
usually
Enter
behind the
in
scenes.
novice, but
Yeah.
then they'll bump you up accordingly.
yeah, if they feel like you are at a different level than what you
Okay.
entered as, they will move you around.
I've seen it a
Okay.
couple times, and it's just like, it makes sense because it's like, otherwise this person's just going to sweep this category, and then the rest of these people are here for nothing.
Yeah,
So it's a
no,
more balanced competition for them to move.
Yeah, I totally
Okay.
understand why they did that.
It's also very
Initially-
flattering.
Initially, I thought that was shady, but then
Yeah.
thinking as a coach, I was like, all right, if that was my client, that would
Would you
actually
want
be-
them competing with somebody below their
no,
standards?
No. I'm thinking if they were to bump her up, I would not want to. I would not want them to tell her, because then she's like, oh shit,
Oh yeah,
it's
that
out
is
of my
never.
routine
Yeah,
now. So
yeah.
actually,
Adding
I think
on
they might have.
pressure.
I don't know. I'm just giving the benefit of the doubt.
No.
Maybe I'm giving.
I mean,
them
it's
too
a
much
valid
credit.
point too.
Yeah, because as a coach, if I'm thinking that's how I would want to handle it,
Mm.
because if you're thinking I sign up for novice and then no, we're gonna bump you to journeyman and you're like, oh shit, I've never been in this class before. I don't know what to expect. So
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm unqualified,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I always
Yeah.
enter where I'm unqualified.
Yeah, and I'm very much like a perfectionist and very much the kind of person who like I see all of the faults in everything I make when everybody else is like, oh, your stuff looks totally fine.
Yeah.
Relatable.
And so I'm always like, but it's falling apart here and this part's slightly too much to the right and my stitches aren't even and stuff
Every
like that.
artist's downfall. They're too
Yeah.
hard on
Every time I
themselves.
send a photo to another photog, and I'm like, hey, can you critique this? And they're like, oh, there's nothing wrong. I was like, what are you talking about? There's this and the lighting over here, and then you see this. And he's like, I didn't even notice
everything's
that.
wrong.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you not notice that?
Yeah, but yeah, so they bumped me up to journeyman and then I got best in journeyman performance.
wow.
So
Yeah.
won the first category, moved up.
Big
What is
ball.
the next category?
Oh my
So can you tell us what are the different levels? So novice, journeyman.
Yeah, so there's usually like a youth category for like the little ones.
Separate.
A separate one. But then there's novice, which is beginner level, journeyman, intermediate, and then masters, which is like technically highest, but recently.
That's like a local highest.
Your power level's
Yeah.
over 9,000.
Well, this is, but you're not Super Saiyan yet.
Instant
That's
win.
like
But they
natural.
also recently
Okay.
brought in a new level that's like professional or something like that.
Oh.
But the rules for that are kind of, I'm not really sure because they're like, it's determined based off of if you make like a certain percentage of your income by.
That's kind of how, like, when Sabo started the photo contest, the professional was mandated,
Yeah.
like, you make money off of this kind of thing, rather than are you just doing this for a long period of time and skill.
Oh,
They divided it by
That's a
income
That
based.
makes sense.
That's a-
That kind of makes
that's
sense.
a good way to equalize a playing field. I think that's actually
In a manner of
reasonable.
sense. It's not, it would be if they differentiated that field, because there's also different levels in the, because you can make money and be at the bottom tier of like a newbie making money.
Yeah, that's kind
And
of.
then they
my
put you in the
thing.
same category. Somebody's been doing it for 10 years, making 6 figures a year, and you're in the same category, just making your first $5 off like a model gig or something.
Yeah, that's kind
So-
of my thing is that like, yeah, I kind of understand why they do that and I kind of understand the reasoning behind it, but also like you could have someone whose craftsmanship is just amazing, but the reason they don't make their income off of it is because they're putting all of their energy into making their own stuff.
And I see that.
And
a
their
lot.
income.
Yeah,
And-
that's a fair argument.
Yeah, and
I
so
feel
like I don't know, like it feels kind of like I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the professional.
Well,
Don't
actually,
worry
so
about it.
from what I'm hearing from both you and Cars is that it seems like when these competitions are being held, there isn't really a standardized way that they judge it across every single con.
There's also different judges for each
Yeah.
event.
So I
Yeah.
think this might be something along the future once anime becomes more ubiquitous within the West and conventions become a lot more ubiquitous in the West. I think that they're actually going to start creating standardized rules across every single con that they have to follow. Because I think you guys are right. I think that's very unfair that just because somebody is doing it professionally and making money off of it, that somebody who's not can't compete. They can't compete in the same weight
level,
class,
yeah.
right? It's not like it's a physical sport. It's a talent sport,
Yeah.
right? It's a
Yeah.
creativity. It's how you express it. So
Yeah.
I think that's
But
actually
I
something that they're
think-
gonna do.
That's also very much like a local convention thing too, though,
Yeah, I
because
mean,
there
it pops
are.
up in a lot of smaller cons, and I think it's because of the very fact that it's becoming more mainstream. Is they're like, oh, we need to account for this new category now. So it's not like worked out. They're
Yeah.
just like, oh, let's just throw this in there.
Yeah.
There are.
So I think it is going to change over time.
Yeah, there are like international like competitions. I'm
Yeah.
not super familiar about that. But there are like international
Those things are hard
competitions
fucking
that
cool.
have like
Very specific,
preliminaries
yeah.
and like finals and stuff, like the World Cosplay Summit. And
Yeah.
Wow. So
Things
you
like
could
that.
so let's say like you got number one for journeyman class. You could be number one in there, but since you're not making any money off of it, you're not gonna get pushed up to professional, even though your stuff's really good.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah,
You gotta
that's
give
why-
something back to the little
That's why I
guy.
kind of feel weird about the professional
Yeah.
category is because it's kind of like, oh, it doesn't really mean that you're good, but it doesn't really mean that
Right.
you're bad
Yeah.
either.
Because it's not
Yeah.
based on your performance or skill as so
Yeah.
much as
You
your
gotta help these
income.
people get exposure so they can make some money off
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
That actually
Oh yeah,
leads into-
every artist's favorite payment method: exposure.
Exposure.
So that actually leads into my next question. So when you're competing, let's say you won the Masters level competition, right? Does that actually qualify you for something like the world level competition or international level competition? How does that work?
At conventions that I've done, no, because I've only really done local conventions, but there are competitions that are usually held at conventions that will, like World Cosplay Summit, I know is one of them. There's like certain anime conventions that will host the World Cosplay Summit, and you can enter in at that competition, and then if you win that competition, then you go on to like, oh, now you're versing this region, and then those
It's like
regions,
qualifiers.
yeah, like qualifiers.
Nice, okay.
Is that is the World Cosplay Summit specific here to America? Like, or is it an
No,
international?
it's an
Well,
international.
the word
Okay.
the word world is there for a reason.
Hey man,
I know people
yeah.
use world all the time.
Very
Yeah.
loosely.
But it is international.
But then-
Europe actually hosts a lot
Yeah.
of the national international competitions.
The World Cosplay Summit in particular, I only say that one because that's the only one that I really know a decent amount about. They like will pick, after all of these qualifiers, will pick someone to represent the United States, and then the
Oh.
final.
That's so cool.
So you have to
Yeah.
get
So are you
kinda have
trying to get there?
Yeah.
God no, absolutely.
With all your ambition,
how
you stop.
come- how come-
That's where you draw the line.
Well, also I kind of feel iffy about the rules with it because it has to be in pairs, so you have to like work with someone else. But also the rules for it are kind of weird. Where
Pairs as in like both of you, or is it like if you and
craftsman,
Cars?
where
If you and Cars did he's your photographer.
duo?
and you're-
no,
No.
that's the
No.
thing is that like it's like you have to work in pairs, but both of you have to make your own costume. You're not allowed to help each other with it.
that makes zero sense.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
How do you audit that?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, but you
That's
guys
just
are, well, we're like a
cumbersome as all
team,
hell.
so
You
why
can't
wouldn't
like
we?
collab at all.
I guess. Well, you can like collab, but you're not allowed to like help work on. Which I don't really understand how you.
So you can discuss about it, but
Yeah.
no like physical.
That's silly.
like, oh, we're
Which-
playing the same series,
is a
but
little
they
weird.
made their costume. I made my costume.
Which again,
There's
this is
a wall
all
between-
kind of stuff that I've just like heard, so I could be totally wrong about this, and this could totally not be how it's. But I'm pretty sure that's how it goes about. This is all.
Don't quote me.
Please don't quote me.
They
please.
blacklist her for talking shit.
So wait, so
Beth of the
so,
Wild disqualified.
so is the World Summit like ever gonna be a goal for you? Like, because
I might at some point do some bigger competitions. Like at one point, I was thinking about doing WonderCon in Anaheim. If it still is in Anaheim, I'm not sure. It's like an
don't know.
off branch of San Diego Comic Con.
yeah.
I was thinking about doing WonderCon at some point, but I have to work on my my
The dancey dance.
my dancey dance. There's a word that I'm trying to think of.
The dancey dance.
My confidence, but
Okay.
also like I want to be like really good, and I want to be like
Work on
super
the
proud.
chorus.
See, this is
yeah.
what we were talking about earlier, where it's you reach this level and you're like, oh, it's not good enough to get to this point. And you get to that point, you're like, no, it's not good
Yeah.
enough to get to the next one.
Yeah.
And you're now talking about that very thing.
I'm like, ooh, don't feel like I'm qualified for that. So
Well,
This
I think-
winning competitions doesn't mean anything.
I think
Oh my
I think the message there is you guys just have to do.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you're never really going to know what you need to improve on until you have that both objective and subjective feedback from the judges, from the fans. Then you're like, okay, here's what I need at this level of competition.
Yeah.
So
I'm also going back to I'm not a competitive person, but I am a competitive person, but only to myself. Like I never am like looking at another cosplayer and I'm like, oh man, like
I mean,
their
self-improvement's
costumes.
the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm never like, oh man, like their costume is so much better than mine. Like my costume sucks. But I'm always
Yeah.
like, if I feel like I accomplished something, like I feel like my costume is better than it was the last competition
Yeah.
I did, that kind of is more
Yeah.
important to me.
Good
Yeah.
mindset.
So I
You're
was saying,
regular.
I think that's a very good mindset to have, especially when it comes to like a very individual sport like this one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it a
Because
sport.
it's not like you're on a team working with others. You're focused on
Yeah.
yourself, your own craft, improving your own
Yeah.
skills individually.
Yeah. That's
and
also
plus, I think that it to a certain degree, it's good to keep an eye on your competition, right? Because if you're just completely oblivious to your competition,
You don't have a
then
benchmark.
you don't have a benchmark.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people, at least in my industry, that will focus too heavily on their competition and psych themselves out. They psych themselves out completely, right? It's
Yep.
like when people hear when they talk about Mike Tyson, it's because of how he looked when he was in the ring, people would psych themselves out before they even stepped in.
Yeah.
Because he just looked a mean dude that will like eat
He was
you
gonna
up.
hurt you.
I
And
mean,
technically,
it's-
he did eat you.
It's Mike Tyson,
Nom nom nom. Give me that ear.
but it's Mike Tyson.
Don't hit me, Mike.
It's Mike Tyson.
No, with Jordan, people like.
Oh, yeah, people were intimidated by Jordan, too.
His competition.
It's Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Is people are like, because of the very mindset of, yo, it's this
Michael
person
Jordan.
I can't even
You're
comprehend.
Yeah.
I'm not beating him. It's
And he
Michael
spoke
Jordan.
extensively about that. About like, before we even got on the court, I knew I had these guys. I knew it. Yeah.
Fucking bitches.
So that's actually a very good mindset to have. Yeah, because then you don't psych yourself out.
Yeah,
You don't hold yourself back.
I've always been kind of like very much as long as I get a participation trophy, then I'm okay.
I'm just happy to be here.
I'm just glad to be here.
Happy to be here.
Batting 1,000, winning all the competitions.
Oh my
Batting
god.
1,000, 3 for 3.
The winner mindset of I'm just happy to be here
Oh my
holding the
gosh.
trophy.
What's it called?
I just try my best and I hold
anime?
myself to really high
And look how
standards.
good your best is.
Aw, thank you.
I forgot. What was the world one called?
World Cosplay Summit?
World Cosplay Summit. You're
Yeah.
3 for 3. You
Ooh.
can't back down now.
It was scary.
Scary.
No.
Ooh.
Let's try an out of Arizona convention
Yeah,
first.
let's do national and then international.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
That's a good idea.
Let's get to that
idea.
Homat or Katsu or
Oh my goodness.
So I
Yeah.
had a question for you relating a little bit more to anime. So when you're choosing like a character to cosplay, are there like certain steps that you take or like certain things that you consider about that character before you start working on that outfit?
Yeah, definitely.
Are you like a method actor or anything?
Method actor? Oh my god.
I am Lisa.
I am Lisa. Oh yeah, we're going back into the Genshin now.
Back into the Genshin
Back
hole.
into the Genshin.
Do the Eren Yeager scream?
No, but like also kind of in a sense. Please. In the sense of my style when it comes to cosplay is very much like if this person existed in the real world, like what kind of materials would their outfit be made out of? Like what would be the history behind everything? I'm very much one of my biggest inspirations is Michelle Campton. I can't remember her last name, but she's the costume designer for Game of Thrones.
She's great.
She's
so.
real good, and she
Yeah.
takes into consideration like everything, like what type of fabric does this country manufacture, like what dyes do they have access to, and I
Yeah.
really like that sort of mindset when I'm thinking about like making something.
Well, from how you describe yourself as somebody who's very detail oriented, I'm actually not.
Yeah.
I'm not very
I
surprised.
was about to say.
That's actually I think one of the things like when I'm looking because I've seen a cajillion fucking cosplays and I've shot 100,000 cosplays at this point, and like the biggest factor I see between like a good cosplay and a great cosplay is like the materials and fabric choice and like the texture.
Yeah,
So it's like, oh
that's,
yeah, this is a
my
well-made
favorite part.
cosplay, but then it's like, whatever that material is, that's the fucking cosplay.
Yeah, like when it came to Paya, I was very much like natural fibers. Like she lives in a village, and she's, for lack of a better term, like a shrine maiden kind of, but like in this like Kakariko village in Breath of the Wild. So she doesn't have access to like all the like fancy materials because she's just like, you know,
Little
a normal
village girl.
village girl, but also she's the granddaughter of the highest person, so she still has like some like fancy stuff, so like a lot of like cottons and linens and stuff like that. Her trim was suede, which would be like, it was a faux suede because, you know, save the animals. but it was a faux suede, but like
Shout out PETA.
shout out PETA.
Good. At least our
Yeah.
podcast won't get a
Oh my
title
God.
like that now.
I actually am a vegetarian, so fun fact. But I'm sorry to hear that.
That's just more for me. I don't care.
Yeah, so like they would be hunting animals, so like the suede would come from that, and like lots of like maroon red dyes because they wouldn't really have access to like a bright red dye
Yeah.
like how it is in the game.
Yes.
So I kind of went for a more muted like berry kind of dye.
Which also made for better photos because I personally have a distaste for
Yeah.
vibrant colors. I like more
Yeah.
muted tones in the first place. So.
That's a really interesting way to go about it.
Yeah,
Like,
and
I don't want to play this character.
I
How do
wanna be this
I wanna be
character.
this character. How do I bring this character in the real world?
So she is a method actor.
I guess, yeah.
Method creator.
Method
Method creator.
creator.
That's a good way to put
Very
it, yeah.
much so, yeah. But yeah, that's like my favorite kind of part of it is like picking all the materials. And then when I come to like, oh, like time to pick out a new character to cosplay, I really think about like, okay, what does this person do? Like, what universe are they in? What materials would they have access to? Like, if their outfit was real, like, what would they want to wear? Right now, I'm working on Lisa from Genshin Impact.
I just see your stories and you're just like, and there's like this much thing square inches, and there's like all these little things, embellishments. And I'm just like, okay, what
Yeah.
this is like 5 inches of the whole costume.
She is a little bit more decked out than I would normally probably do for a librarian, but she's my girl. I love her so much.
You have a librarian, and she's one of the fighters in Genshin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One
Well,
of the
Bring out
characters.
that spell book.
yeah,
Throw it at
her backstory kind of leads you to believe that she's a lot more powerful and a lot more capable than she leads on, but she's just kind of lazy. So she's like,
Now that's a relatable character.
I'm
Like,
just-
I can whoop ass, but I don't feel like it. Like that takes
Literally.
energy. Like
Yeah.
my favorite thing is that when you like take her into your party, she's like, "Oh, you're taking me out." Like, that's
So you're
my-
gonna bench me? Put me back in, coach.
Yeah, so it's like my favorite thing. And
That's
she's
cool.
like, "Oh, I wish I was home right now." And I'm like, "Girl, same."
That's cool. That's cool.
But yeah, like the most of her outfit is made with like linens for the white part, but then also like a faux silk for the rest of it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like, oh, like kind of natural fibers, silky.
You guys are getting a lot of
Lots of
sauce
embroidery.
from Masters level competition.
Oh my gosh.
So here, right?
I also haven't really been posting progress on Lisa because I
Oh,
want
she's
her
keeping
to.
a secret.
top secret.
I know.
Smart.
I've been posting like
Spoiled here. It's fine. This episode won't be out until like Sabo weekend. So
I know, and that's what I'm hoping to have her done by. So crossing my fingers.
don't die.
I know.
That con crunch.
No.
Okay,
con
so
crunch allowed.
next question that I wanted to ask is, so how has your overall experience been within the cosplay industry, and more specifically, what has this community and this industry, what kind of doors has it opened for you in other avenues of your life, whether professional or just personal?
Well, I guess when it comes to like competitions and stuff, I don't really do it with the mindset of like I want to be a professional one day. It's more so it's very much like a hobby for me. I've found that whenever I try to like monetize or like make a career out of my hobbies, I get really burnt out of them.
It drains
Yep.
the fun out
Yeah,
of it.
it drains the fun out of it for me. So it's been very much a like, this is just my fun thing. Like, I'm not going to put too much pressure on it because then I get too anxious and jittery.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, actually, a couple of months ago, I kind of made the whole like, I'm quitting.
I'm going away.
Yeah.
I'm not doing cosplay.
I quite literally was like, I'm not doing cosplay anymore. Peace out. And then proceeded to do actually the exact opposite.
And then she messages me, "Hey, can you guys still have me on the podcast? Also, I'm going to be at Game On and I'm going to be at Sub." So I'm not actually quitting.
like proceeded to actually do the complete opposit. Not to like get too like into like personal life.
Bro, we've
but
gotten personal on a few of these
No,
episodes.
I think people
And
like
I-
that because
The
it makes
relatable
you a
aspect.
little bit more relatable. So yeah, please feel free. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, not me oversharing. I've been going through a lot of like, I don't know, kind of difficult stuff, and I won't get too into it, but there's been like a few like just kind of like not great things that have been happening in my like personal life that have kind of like made me very like sad and mellow, a little sad
Withdrawn.
bean. Yeah. And oh my
I
god.
can tell.
Whoa. Whoa.
Wow.
Kenny whacked it
Whoa.
right on the head.
Okay.
It's just like, it was a little experience there.
Make you
He
hit your
just
passion,
said
man.
the silent part out loud.
So I'm not going to say
He's
too
gonna
much.
bleep that part when I said it.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be- You know what? I will leave it in there and beep it just so the audience questions. What did he say?
He's like, you're not supposed to mention boyfriend. I'm gonna lose a ton of fans.
Oh my god.
That's true. Especially when you're going to start twitching. You can't
No,
have.
it's actually really funny that you say that because a couple years ago when I actually did have a boyfriend, I posted him on my story once and I lost like 100 followers.
That's how it
It's a
happens.
real thing.
That's how it
so
happens.
me and Kelsey were having this conversation where I'm like, if you're gonna do Twitch, you cannot mention me.
Yeah.
You cannot mention me because if
You
you're trying to
don't
make a run
exist.
at it,
You will lose everything.
I'm trying to approach this from like a marketing standpoint.
Yeah.
Right?
Not approach it from a marketing standpoint.
Dude, I've seen that happen where a girl will
Yeah,
post like
it's
her boyfriend, even if it's not their boyfriend, they just post like a guy
Just
in their
a
story,
guy.
and people immediately their follower count.
Yeah, you see it on Twitter all the time. Like poster man.
All these
Loses like
simps getting
1,000
jealous,
followers.
bro. Don't be a jealous simp.
Oh my goodness, that's so embarrassing.
I mean, you
Or you
sit
could be a
and
jealous
give her the
simp.
money.
I was gonna say, at least give
You
the
be
money as an
jealous.
apology. Donate, be like, hey, I
Yeah.
can't stick around. Bye.
You
Oh
can
my
be
God.
jealous,
No.
but keep following.
There is an
Just-
extraction fee.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Anyway, that's a tangent. Let's triangle back here.
Oh my goodness.
What were we talking about?
Well, not commenting on any of that, but yeah, went through quite a bit of like personal just stuff, and so I was kind of in this like oofy kind of mood, and so for a really long time I didn't work on anything, and I didn't have any sort of creative outlet. And Sarah, my friend, we like live
Mushroom.
Shout out to Mushroom. We
Like 4 people understand that. Right?
I know. Well, we live together, so she's cursed with my presence at all times. Sorry.
So sorry to us or to Sarah?
To Sarah, but yeah. So she's
gonna see this.
She's like unfriended.
She's
I know,
like,
right?
you're goddamn right.
Yeah, she's like,
It's okay. Binks compensates.
Breaks the
"Aw,
lease.
Binksy boy,
Breaks
The fluffy void.
the fluffy boy, my baby." But yeah, so she sees me being sad and dramatic all the time, and so, anyways, but she heard this whole conversation where I was like, "I'm quitting cosplay. I'm never coming back. I need a new hobby.
That is dramatic.
Something that doesn't stress me out as much." And then, flash forward a couple of weeks, proceeded to be like, I hate just sitting here and being sad about my life, so I'm going to put all of my heart and soul into something that actually makes me happy. Because there was also a lot of like work and school, because which is kind of the reason I kind of stopped cosplaying for a while, was because like I was working like 30 hours a week and then doing school like another 30 hours a week. So I just had a super packed schedule. So it's kind of like, you know what? I'm sick of just like working all the time and like not doing anything else. And I had like no other sort of outlet to do anything. And it got to the point where like at one point cosplay was kind of a chore to work on, because I was like, oh, I'd come home from work and have to do a bunch of schoolwork, and then after I'm done with all my schoolwork, I'm just tired and I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
But
That pillow just looks so inviting.
yeah, but then I just kind of like lie down and be a little sad bean for the rest of the day. So it's like I'm gonna kind of force myself to work on things, and I think that's been really good for me.
I actually think that's a very good litmus test, right? Because she had all of these personal things going on in your life,
And still came back.
cosplay was adding to that stress, so you think you'd take a hiatus, but then it just basically called you back. So even though this thing you thought was adding a significant amount of stress in your life,
Yeah,
So it's actually funneling it out.
your life was a bit less meaningful without it. So it just pulled you back. Right?
yeah.
That's how you
It
know
was
it's your
really
passion.
It was also really like very much a change in mindset, because when I was only thinking about like, oh, I don't want to work on anything because I'm just stressed out, then it's gonna make you stressed out.
Yeah.
But then when I was like, oh, I actually miss like doing something that doesn't make me sad and something that like made me happy.
Brings you joy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, we
Gotta
came
take
back.
those breaks. Yeah. Gotta take those breaks from work.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I went on like a little break for a while, and still technically kind of on that break, because I mean, Game On Expo is happening right now. And that's
And you're just
why.
vibing.
Yeah, that's why I'm in Phoenix right now, is for Game On Expo. But I didn't really cosplay at all this weekend. I was just kind of like,
Got some ears on yesterday.
I had some ears on yesterday, which I still
And a
have
wig.
and a wig. Oh
And a
my
wig.
god.
A wig is cosplay.
I still have all the glue behind my ears.
Well, I don't know if you noticed that there's this pattern with you from how you describe your cosplay career up until this point. I'm noticing a pattern where you'll do some competitions and then you'll step back, and then you'll come back in, you'll dip your feet a little bit, and then keep going. And then it seems like it's happening again, where you took some time off. Now you're coming back. You're kind of feeling out what the industry is up to right now, and then you're gonna jump right back into it. And I think that's actually a healthy relationship to have with something like this, because at a certain point, you're right. As an artist, you might get too hard on yourself. You might get burned out, and then and then you completely break away from something that was actually meaningful to you. So I think that's actually a very, very good way to go about it.
Yeah, I also push myself like way too hard in a lot of things. Like I do that in school and stuff too. So
Gotta keep that GPA up to get that.
I gotta keep that GPA up. I
Get that
gotta
tuition paid.
I know I gotta keep my scholarship, so we kind of have to have a good GPA.
Yeah.
So no, but yeah, I kind of push myself really hard, and cosplays included. Like I'm always like, I have to be the best I possibly can be, and so yeah, I have a tendency to get burnt out a lot. I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, that I'll be back for a little while, because I have some plans for the future.
It's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I only have a year left of school, so
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
After that, you know.
After that, it's World Summit.
I don't know
And then
about
you
that.
retire
Focus on the
the
big
champion.
leagues.
Oh my gosh. I don't know about
The
that.
world will know.
I want to see it. Beth in the wild on World Summit.
Scary. Well, I actually haven't.
We'll put the advertisement on our podcast.
Scary.
Just streaming live.
Oh yeah.
I actually haven't announced this to anyone yet, so this is like an exclusive inside
Exclusive.
scoop.
Ooh.
This is pretty cool.
We got
Here we
some
go.
exclusive.
Here we go. Exclusive,
Yeah.
We're
guys.
like
News at
journalists
11.
now, but with more integrity.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, like my friends and stuff know, but like no, I haven't
Oh, so we're
announced.
not first?
I mean,
Oh my god. But like I haven't announced it on Instagram or anything.
it's not public knowledge.
It's not public knowledge. But I'm competing at Sabo. So
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Very cool.
to claim that she didn't want to announce it because then everybody would give up and quit. And she'd have
Whoa,
competition.
okay. That's not where I was going.
Ugh.
I more so didn't want to announce it because there were a couple of conventions where I did sign up to be in the competition
fell through.
and then it fell through and then I ended up not being in the
And
competition.
that's an important thing too, because a lot of cosplayers run into con crunch and deadlines, and
Yeah.
they stress themselves to the point where they hate cosplaying. They hate creating cosplay. 'Cause they're like,
Yes.
I have to get it done for this convention.
Yes.
No, you don't.
That is
Put it off for the next convention.
Yeah.
Don't kill yourself.
I
over
honestly
it.
feel like that's probably why I took so many breaks was because I would push myself so hard to get things done and to like my detriment. Now I
Yeah.
have a rule where I'm not allowed to bring a sewing machine to the hotel room.
Thank
Like,
you.
It's
Oh my
like
God.
if I don't get
Oh,
it done,
yeah.
then I'm dropping out of the competition. Like
Ryan.
I'm not.
I don't know if you watched our podcast, but I remember at Corey, whatever year it was, you brought your damn sewing machine into the thing and you were guessing, and you're like, oh, I got to make another cosplay because I've already cosplayed these cosplays.
Wow.
She spent
Yeah.
all night like creating another cosplay. So she would have something
Literally,
else for
it
the
is
con. I'm just
not
like,
worth it. It is like I'm very much like my mental health is not worth.
So you
No.
take the fun out of it.
Yeah. So
yeah, like sure, when you get to a certain level, part of it's work, but even when you're working, you still have to balance what you're putting into it, or you just burn
Yes.
yourself out.
Gotta-
It's-
gotta
Savvy.
pre-cosplay.
Savvy Cake Monster cosplay. This is you too. Stop stressing yourself out. Don't bring the sewing machine into the hotel room.
Sewing machines are banned from hotel rooms.
You put those needles away.
Also,
No.
Savvy, like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
No, that's actually that's you know I posted this the other day. I said you have to learn to acquire the skill of learning how to play while you work and you work while you play, and those two things have to blend together because
They're not mutually exclusive.
exactly
Yeah.
because if you're at a convention and all you're doing is working,
You're gonna hate it.
And
You're
dude,
gonna
I
hate
see
it.
that
You're
a
gonna
lot with
hate
the
it.
cosplay photogs where they're running from scheduled shoot to scheduled shoot. And I'm like, bro, sit down for 5 fucking minutes. Enjoy
Yeah.
the con. and
Yeah.
Don't
That's why I
set your
like
schedule so close to back where if somebody's late, you fuck up the next 3 shoots.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's chaos.
I think it's good that you take breaks though.
Yeah.
So you can just,
Yeah.
refresh
I
everything.
was gonna say it's also good to refresh just
Yeah.
your creative skills, because sometimes you stay on the same thing, you get
Yeah,
tunnel vision,
yeah.
and then when you
Yes.
break away from it, you come back and you're like, oh, I could do this thing instead.
It's
Like
good
the-
for clearing the knowledge.
Like the great Jackie Chan said,
Woosah.
too much of one thing is not good.
Unless it's mac
Dude,
and
Jackie
cheese.
said that.
Yeah, it was in the
Or
new
pad
Karate
thai.
Kid movie.
Oh, of course,
Freaking love pad
Nom, nom,
thai.
nom.
that guy, man, infinite wisdom.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, so do you have any like advice for any aspiring cosplayers, like if they wanted to also make the transition from just the hobby to competition, like anybody to follow, YouTube channels to
Yeah.
watch,
Oh my
books
gosh.
to read?
Hit me.
I would literally just say, just do it. Especially
Just do it. Just do it.
Especially if
She's also sponsored by Nike.
I am wearing Nike shoes.
There you go.
The Chonky Boys.
The Chonky Boys. No, but like very much so. You don't even know before you've even gone to like do a competition. You don't even know if you actually will like it. Because I know a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I'm gonna compete. I'm scared," and then they get into the competition and they're just like, "It just wasn't for me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you don't want to kind of like put too much of your heart and soul into it right away. Just kind of like dip your toes in and just kind of like
Get a vibe check.
get a
Yeah,
vibe for
vibe check,
it.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's like no shame in just kind of like finding a local convention and just entering into a competition and just see where it goes and just kind of feel it out. Don't stress out too much because I know some people who take it way too seriously.
Mhm.
And I feel like that takes all of the fun out of it when you take it way too seriously.
Mhm.
Just kind of dip toes in.
Yeah.
I personally am completely self-taught. I mean, other than just kind of like the basics of like my mom being like, this is how you use a sewing machine. But like everything else has been completely self-taught. Like I've never like taken a sewing class or anything like that.
It's a very common pattern I
So-
recognize with very artistic people. Most of the time, like you're self-taught.
Yeah.
A lot of like the stuff that I do artistically self-taught. Kelsey, a lot of the stuff she does self-taught. Like you're very self-taught.
Yeah.
And
It's-
cosplay is really fun too because like, I mean, of course there's like the obvious like big ones like sewing and like foamsmith and stuff that are like big skills, but cosplay is very much like a conglomeration of just like a bazillion skills
Yeah.
that you could possibly do. I mean, there's like painting, there's sewing, there's jewelry making,
Yeah.
there's embroidery, bedazzling.
There's
beating,
some of
like-
these are bedazzled.
So
And
there's
apple
always
bottom
something
jeans.
to learn, I guess, which is another thing is like don't try to kind of stress yourself out with knowing everything because you'll never know everything.
Yeah, there's too much for
There's
one person
too
to
much
know.
for you to know.
So, do you make everything yourself, or do you outsource some of the parts of it? Because I know some people like they will outsource the wig to somebody else. Is that something that you do, or do you do everything yourself?
Oh no. Well, when it comes to competitions, I make everything myself. But when it comes to just like casual bopping around the con kind of costumes, I buy some things.
Okay.
Even like the wig, you make that yourself for competition?
Like
If you do
style?
styling, not making.
I don't make it like
I was about to
left
say, you
for
gotta
Get the
left.
net to start
I
fiber
know.
by fiber.
I don't think that's
Go to
ever.
the barbershop
You
for
know how
some
to weave,
human
girl?
hair.
Some people do. Some people do make their wigs from scratch. Like they make the wig
human
cap
hair wigs
and
are
they
way too
sew
good.
all the hairs on there.
Yeah,
That's
I
crazy.
could never do that. But yeah, definitely
time-consuming
starting
as
with
all
like
hell.
a base wig and then styling it. Yeah, I
Could
do all
never
of
do it. I'm
that.
3 for 3.
Okay, that's that. All right, because I was talking to Katya about this last night also, because I was inquiring to her. I'm like, hey, because I actually want to do Lloyd, right?
Oh.
But I was like, well, I don't just want to buy something off of Amazon. I actually want to get a 3-piece suit, get it tailored.
If you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it.
Yeah, and she's like, nah, bro. It's like sometimes it's appropriate to do that, but a lot of the times there's no shame in buying things pre-bought.
Oh, definitely not.
Even so, like, but from what I've seen, a lot of cosplays, you could buy it pre-bought and then tailor it or upgrade it from there. So you use it just as a base, and you can style it. Like my friend Nat, she styles wigs a lot, and wigs I think is like one of the things I see cosplayers are like most afraid of because styling wigs is
Scary.
scary, especially like some of them, the cheaper ones, do not style very well. And then they look plasticky and shiny. And
Yeah.
so a lot of wigs do get outsourced a lot, but a lot of times they'll just buy a wig off Amazon and have style it themselves or send somebody else. And they use all these different like materials and products and stuff to make it look more natural, flowy, fixture better, fluffier. Like it's crazy how transformative a wig could be.
I
Okay.
think nowadays it's a lot more accepted. I know when I first kind of started cosplaying, there was like a weird stigma around buying your costumes.
There still is, but it's a lot.
Really?
It's a
Yeah.
lot fewer people have that
Now
stigma.
it's a
of, "Ew,
lot
you
fewer
bought your
people-
cosplay.
Yeah.
You're not
It's
a
kinda-
cosplayer."
It's kind of stupid.
Is that like a requirement for the cosplay?
I think for competitions it is.
For
Just for
competitions,
competitions?
yeah, it's
Okay.
different for
It has to be
competitions.
handmade.
For competitions, you have to hand make everything. Like you have to
Okay.
make everything yourself. Which like if you do enter a competition, please make it yourself. Like don't buy a costume. Like
So
the
guys, don't
yeah.
go to Halloween Town.
Oh my god.
Get something.
Most of the time, the judges will know if you've just bought
Yeah.
it. Like,
Party City.
Get
Yeah.
Party City, yeah, that was it. Yeah.
but when it comes to just kind of like bopping around the convention or whatever, like there's no shame in
Yeah,
buying
you just
a
want to be
costume.
Dino
Like that
Girl for
word,
the evening and
bopping
throw on the
around.
uniform. Just buy the
There's
uniform
nothing.
and go at it.
Literally, it's like you pick your battles, and
Yeah.
that's not
Okay.
one.
I'm gonna start
That's,
saying
yeah,
that.
that's not
Just bopping around.
But just bopping around. My 02 that we did on the Tempe
dancey
Town
dance.
Pitch. I bought that one. I didn't make that.
Casual. Still
Okay.
cute. And it was still cute.
It was
Yeah,
still
that's
cute.
good to know because actually that's actually one of the questions that I ask her. I'm like, do you is there like do you feel like is there any feeling of shame that you're like fuck I feel like I'm cheating? So it seems like that's not the stigma isn't really there anymore. So
Cosplay is for fun.
For some people, it is, but not for me. Cause yeah, it's for fun. It's not.
Okay.
It's not serious. I like to put all of my energy into making like my competition pieces. So then, when it comes to like little things that I don't plan on entering into competitions,
It's like a break from the.
It's just a break. So
yeah,
I'm like, I'm just gonna buy it because I don't want to put a lot of
Yeah,
energy.
you're already putting all this effort, energy,
Yeah.
and concept into this. So
Into,
this is
like,
just like
yeah,
easy peasy. Let's roll.
into one big
Okay.
project.
it's good to know.
So yeah.
Okay, last question that I had.
Yeah.
So Cars tells me that you're actually thinking about, or maybe you're already in the process of starting a Twitch channel.
Oh my gosh, scary.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, why did I
like
tell
you
you?
said, you just have to do it.
Why did I tell you?
So is it?
This is called holding you accountable, so you follow through.
So are you going to be? Because it seems like you're a big fan of Genshin. Are you gonna be playing a lot of Genshin?
Yeah, this is the real
She's
part
like,
of the
hold on, I didn't
podcast.
spend that much money.
You thought that whole hour was something? We got
At all.
2 more on just Twitch.
I know, right? 2 more. No, see, my kind of thought process was it would be kind of like, because I love video games, but I'm very much like a shy.
Ooh, woo.
No, I'm very much a shy. Like, I don't want people like, gosh, she sucks. Her aim sucks. Like, like that. I'm very like sensitive.
It's okay.
So-
Don't feel bad. Most girls suck at video games.
Oh, whoa,
The bombs have been dropped.
I don't
Not
know,
the
man.
misogyny.
Oh no, man.
Hit the button. Misogyny.
Misogyny.
The big old button on the desk.
And after my rights just got taken away,
views.
too.
We have to get the views from the misogynist bigot.
No, I
my
think you'll
goodness.
be fine, honestly. Like
Oh,
people on
thanks.
Twitch really love the like bubbly attitude.
Oh.
Yeah,
And you
'cause-
kind of seem like you can bring that to Twitch.
Yeah, because I think a
Aw,
lot of people
crying.
watching Twitch, I think there's a few different audiences. One are like watching for like the top shots. How do you get these skills? And I think some are just there to vibe.
Yeah.
Well, that was kind of like my whole thing is that if I did start it, I would very much be like, let's look at my Animal Crossing island.
There you go.
And like, let's decorate.
That's exactly uwu vibes.
But here's the thing, like all jokes aside though, what I've noticed from the most successful, both men and women that play Twitch, that are on Twitch, and even like the classic LPers in YouTube, like Markiplier, PewDiePie, you don't have to be good. And
Yeah.
I was talking about this with Kelsey. It's that when people watch you, they don't watch you just because they want to watch the game that you're playing.
They're not watching
They
the
watch
game
you
so much as
because
they're
of
watching
your
the
personality.
Personality.
Obviously, they're degenerates that just want to watch cute girls on.
Oh my
on Twitch.
gosh.
Back to the
But-
Sims.
Whoa.
But
I'm
a
sorry.
lot of the draw.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, like a lot of the draw is because people want to watch you because it's like the energy that you provide.
Yeah.
Because you could be attractive and you could be good at playing the game, but if you're monotone,
If you got no
you're dull,
charisma,
If you're
there's
boring,
no,
like
if you got no charisma,
yeah.
Because it kind, I think it harkens back to like when there was some games where I didn't like to play and I just like to watch. So I was just my brother would play the game and it was just fun to hang out with my brother while he played a game.
yeah,
So I think it appeals to like that kind of thing where it's like you're just hanging out with a pal as they play a friend
yeah.
game.
Like when I watch my cousin Carlos when he played Outlast, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna buy you the game. I
Oh
just want
my
to sit and watch you
God.
play because his reactions when he's playing the game, dude, it's like you're paying to watch a movie.
yeah.
I don't know if you're big on horror games, but that's the key
Oh my
right
gosh.
there.
I
you go.
actually am pretty good at that kind of Sarah, my friend, she's really funny because every time we watch like anything even remotely spooky, she has great reactions to it.
Nice.
I'm a little harder to scare.
Oh, you're like, psh, whatever.
But that's also because I
Skeleton in the closet. Psh, whatever.
All right,
I
Eminem.
love
before.
horror movies. I love horror games, so I'm a little bit harder to spook. But I'm just a spooky gal. But
Getting them Halloween vibes already.
Gotta put
I
that in
know.
the Twitch bio too.
pumpkin
Little
spice
dancey
latte
dancer,
this morning.
spooky gal.
Is that gonna be your handle, Spooky Gal?
Spooky gal, maybe.
The uwu
My-
spook.
spooky gal. Well, my gamer tag is pumpkin loaf. So
That is true. I remember seeing that on Discord.
yeah.
Yeah,
Is that
that'd be a good theme.
is that for Starbucks or coffee?
Whoa, we're not doxing my workplace.
Can he just dock you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Censorship.
It's
Because
okay.
you go.
There's
Go
You
to-
like it.
it's all right. There's a Starbucks on every corner.
That's
What's
okay.
the
That's
possibility?
okay.
There's like 5 within a mile of here.
And then I'm not always at the same Starbucks, so it's like, whatever.
Well, let's beep it out anyway because these degenerates are gonna FBI.
Degenerates.
I work for Amazon. All right, you guys know where I work.
Undisclosed coffee company.
Oh, they're gonna Sherlock Holmes the hell out of this man.
It's all right. Beep, beep, bleepity beep.
Bleep, bleep, bleep,
The
bleep.
beeps will actually be more interesting because then people are going to guess, what did they beep out? They never beep anything out. And then they're going to create their own fan theories. That's how we get big.
So is that
Scary.
are you gonna focus a lot on like horror games and things of that nature?
Oh my gosh, no. It's probably going to be very much like just cozy vibes. Like,
Chill
come
vibes.
chill out. I might do a little bit of like, I'm going to work on this little piece of my costume. So, like
cool.
a little crafty stream.
Oh.
But then, other than that, probably just like Animal Crossing,
The
Stardew
artistry,
Valley.
Stardew Valley.
Like the
Who was I
little.
just talking to about Stardew
chill.
Valley? Yesterday? Who was I don't remember days or times.
the
or weeks.
artistry vibe's actually really big on Twitch right now. A lot of people just like to watch artists just go and be creative.
Yeah.
Those are probably my favorite kind of
Yeah.
streams. Are the ones.
Are
where
you familiar? Because you said you like spooky. Are you familiar with Jodie Steele?
No.
Oh, she's kind of like that, where she became super popular on Facebook because she would basically either draw. She's very big into body art, so she'd do her body art on camera,
that's cool.
right?
That's where Amaranth got it from. Okay.
Yeah. So
There you
I can see that, and people really like that kind of like the Zen vibes. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Animal Crossing is.
Yes.
If I can think of a way to
Zen,
describe
yeah.
Animal
Very
Crossing, it's
zen.
very zen.
I find ways to make it stressful. But I find ways to make everything stressful. But I'm very much like, my island has to be perfect. I have a 5-star island. So
She twirls it. By the way.
twirls my hair. I have a 5-star
So
island.
not only do I 5-star my
So-
competitions, I 5-star my Animal Crossing.
Oh
Why
my
are you
God.
not lit up?
Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, she was talking about how the content she was gonna make on Twitch.
Cozy
Yes,
vibes.
your
And I was
Twitch.
commenting on how it's gonna be like really zen. People like watching.
With her
Chat,
dancey
you guys are
dance.
saying how
Very
it's going to
zen,
be like it's a
bro.
definitive, but
We're
I was
holding
just
you accountable.
brainstorming
Every episode, we're
ideas.
gonna be like, so Beth,
I just casually was brainstorming ideas with Rob, and now he's like, okay,
full send, you're into it now.
here's
It's too
everybody.
late.
Everybody, Beth's doing this now.
And then she was showing off her 5-star island.
That's true.
My 5-star island.
I mean, you can't talk all
Yeah.
this shit and then hide it from the audience.
Yeah,
I know,
sure.
right?
Put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, but I'm like getting really big into like, I want to do a lot more competitions and stuff. So I'm like, I don't know
Bit
if
more
time.
active and
But yeah, so they're like a time constraint, so I'm not really sure if that is going to be what I'm doing. But
Oh, it's super cool. So it
Yeah.
seems like you've got a few things, like Chambered. You've got Sabo, and then you have your Twitch channel in the works.
oh my god, hypothetically, speaking.
hypothetical. The potential.
But yeah,
If we get enough subscribers for Beth right before she starts.
oh my god. But yeah, no, I have a few plans of like cosplays that I want to do in the near future. So,
When are we doing Violet?
oh my god.
Yeah, Cars
See,
tells me Violet Evergarden is your
favorite
or-
anime.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, that's actually I have my Violet Evergarden tattoo
your
that
arm
I
over
have
there?
to show.
Ah, okay, there
Behind
you
the
go.
scenes.
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go. And then you have the camera here they would
Oh,
like to
that's
see.
cool.
That is super cool.
But yeah, it's the spoiler alert. Can I say spoilers?
Dude, we spoil so much shit
Yeah,
on
because
this.
Violet Evergarden has been out for such a long time. If you haven't
Yeah.
watched it, we can't say that we're gonna spoil it for you. It's
I
your
just
fault.
wanted to say,
I
like,
haven't
explain
seen it.
what it says
Do
in
it.
the
Yeah,
quote.
go for it.
Go for it. Yeah.
Because there's a scene in Violet Evergarden where Gilbert is
Let me
like,
get a tissue box on.
I know, right? The scene where Gilbert is like bleeding out and dying, and Violet's like, I'm gonna carry you out of here, like we're gonna
Using her
live.
fucking teeth because her
Yeah.
arms have fallen off.
Yeah, her arms got shot off.
I'm telling you, you have to get deep into Violet Evergarden to really
Yeah.
appreciate the
And then
Her
your
as a
feelings
character.
will be hurt and you'll cry a lot.
Yeah. But he says basically like you have to go on, you have to live and be,
Be
free,
free.
and that's what it says is live and be free.
Yeah.
So
yeah. because Violet's interaction with Gilbert in the beginning, it might seem very surface level, but the thing with Gilbert and Violet is Gilbert pushes her to basically
Be a person
live.
instead of a child.
like be her own
soldier.
person.
Yeah, I was
And then
actually
she spends the
watching-
series trying to figure out what I love you means. And it's just like,
Yeah. If you can imagine, it's like a more dramatized version of Pinocchio. Kind of like how. I mean,
that. No,
I want to be a real boy.
teaching him how to be a real boy.
I understand. This is not what I was
but I
expecting.
mean, it's like the relationship between
Yeah.
Pinocchio and Geppetto, right?
Yes,
It's
yes.
like a father that really wants. Well, what do you want for your son, right?
Yeah.
To become a man, right? That's what he wants Pinocchio to do. So it's kind of like the same. There's a parallel there with.
There's a
Yeah.
parallel.
There's a
So
parallel.
correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Violet is she a full person or is she an android?
No, she's a
or-
person.
No, she's-
She's a full person. Okay.
The auto memory dolls is just like the name of the job title kind of thing. They're not actually like dolls.
Okay, got
But
it.
she is described like as a doll because she's so beautiful and like expressionless.
She has animatronic arms because she was
Because
a
she
soldier
lost her
and she
arms,
lost her arms.
as we
Okay.
mentioned
Yeah,
previously.
because I was watching like an overlook before the podcast because I wanted to ask some questions about it.
Yeah,
but we
a
got
lot
into
of-
a lot of stuff. But basically, like the overall consensus is just this person trying to relearn their emotions, I guess.
Well, not relearn, learn
Not
in the
relearn,
first place.
yeah,
She's
learn.
never,
Learn in the first place.
yeah.
Okay.
Because she goes to like write letters for people on behalf of other people to express their
Yeah.
feelings, but since she doesn't understand those feelings herself, they come off very direct and abrasive. And people are like, what the fuck did you write? This isn't what I'm trying to get across. She's like, I don't understand. This is what she's told me.
Yeah, she.
So all the feels in this.
Yeah,
A lot
they
of
don't
feels.
really describe like what her backstory is really, but we just know that she's like been orphaned since a young age,
And then she was the child soldier in the war.
Yeah, she was
and
a
then the war
child
has
soldier.
effectively ended, and now everybody's moving on with their lives, and she's finding a place in the world, learning how to become a person, basically.
Yeah, she was just trained to be like a weapon, and now that the war's
So,
over, she's like, I
instrument
don't know
of
what to
war
do.
turned into person.
Yeah.
If you could imagine, so
Wow.
that's exactly what she is, right?
Yeah.
From childhood up until the war ended, she was basically a soldier. So that life is all that she knew. So all that she knew was combat, taking orders. So can you, if you can imagine, like an actual soldier, right,
Yeah.
coming back from war, they don't know how to transition back
Yeah.
into normal civilian life. So Violet Evergarden is a meditation on that, basically. It's a lot stronger because Violet, she really doesn't know how to interact with people because her job, like when writing letters, she doesn't know how to do it well. Because,
And it's why she takes on that job, is to learn. Because
Yeah.
initially
Learn.
she's just helping sorting out and delivering letters, and then she's like, oh, I want to do this so I can understand. She wants to know what I love you means.
Yeah.
That makes me wonder if she's had any like
that's the
PTSD
beauty of-
episodes.
She's definitely got some PTSD, bro.
Yeah.
Gilbert?
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. That's
There you
kind
go.
of what the whole thing is
Yeah.
kind of like, not hinting at, because it's very like
It's pretty
obvious.
direct,
yeah. But like the whole thing is kind of very much like, oh, she's doesn't know these feelings. She doesn't understand these feelings. So she takes up this job, which is really only exists because of the literacy of the country
Yeah, a
that
lot
they
of people
live
can't
in.
read and write.
A lot of people can't read and write, so there's these jobs where like girls will just like write letters for people, but they like try to make things a little more eloquent.
Yeah, because they're like,
and-
oh, this is what you're trying to get across. I will express that for you. Because
Yeah.
you don't have the words for it.
Have you ever seen the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson? Well, Joaquin Phoenix is kind of like that. That was his job, to write love letters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's like kind of analogous to
Yeah.
that. But yeah, basically Violet Evergarden is that, right? It's like she has to come back in society, basically be socialized
Okay.
again.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, it's a good show.
Maybe I'll give it a watch.
And the animation is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, I was
Kill Ani nailed it.
in the video. It looked really, really
And
good.
the final movie is now on Netflix.
I still need to watch it.
Oh.
I did
You
resubscribe
haven't
to.
seen it?
I can't handle my emotions. I told you this before.
The day that it was released on Netflix, I watched it.
I'm right there with you, man. When it comes to anime, I'm right
I
there
had a
with you.
ticket to see it in theaters, but then I got COVID,
Wow.
so I couldn't go. Yeah.
You know what? We should have Penny go through Violet Evergarden because
No.
I'll buy you a box
I'm
of
watching it
tissues.
by
It'll be
myself.
fine. No, you can watch it by yourself. I'll give you a box of tissues. You can go in your room. Okay.
If you guys have an
All right.
episode on just Violet Evergarden, I demand to
and
be
we're
here.
all just crying.
well, I was actually suggesting that we do the whole Violet Evergarden.
Yeah, but we have like
Series.
5 minutes left in this podcast.
No, I mean like because Spy
Like our
after
review.
we finish Spy
Oh,
Family.
review.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if
do
I'm
that.
ready for that emotionally.
Cry every episode, every session we do.
And I'm gonna go through a lot more liquor per episode than normal.
It's too
Oh,
good.
yeah, that's the only, also fun fact, the only anime that's ever made me cry. So
Really?
that tells you a lot.
I be balling after all of them.
Bro, the episode. I think it was
Dry as that.
When All Might said you can be a hero to Midoriya,
dude.
I was yes,
I
you
think-
can.
It was episode 9, I think it was, where Violet started crying and I was gone.
Is that the one with the
She started.
kid and the mom?
No, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
that's
she,
the one
oh,
that
man.
gets everyone.
Oh.
Man.
Yeah, my
That
friend
one
texted
and-
from work. She's like, "Why did you do this? I am in the bathroom crying at work." I'm like, "I didn't tell you to watch it at work."
That one, that episode, and then the episode with the soldier are the ones that I cried at.
I mean, I did cry of beauty
Hard.
with the when she did the lake, stepping on the leaf in the wind.
I actually don't think I cried at that.
I didn't
part.
cry because of emotion. I was like, "This is just a beautiful."
was just a
fucking scene.
beautiful
Yeah,
scene,
It was just
yeah.
beautifully animated. It was also like emotional, but it was the beauty of the animation that really got me.
Yeah.
The
But-
music is
Oh yeah.
like-
and that too.
so good.
I think anime's got some real tear jerkers for sure.
Well, you know, in
As a
the
whole.
if we remember in the first session of the podcast when I was talking about Mitsuru Adachi Sensei, he's kind of like that, where he's really good at creating stories that communicate the human condition,
Mhm.
and that's well, Violet Evergarden as a broad spectrum. Violet is a meditation on the human condition, which is why it
Yeah.
resonates with so many people, dude. Yeah, so yeah, we'll get you to watch it.
Yeah, I'll watch it. I'll
Oh,
watch
and the composer of the music is an American composer. Fun fact.
Interesting.
Wow,
If you ever,
very interesting. Okay.
I'm not watching it. All Japanese or nothing.
Oh my gosh. But I think, yeah, it was like an American composer. And
Produced by
then,
Dr. Dre.
Oh my god. But the music's so good. The music's so good.
Music is very good.
But yeah.
Okay, well,
Yes.
on that note, thank you guys once again. And a very special thank you to our third guest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Number
So
3.
thank you so much,
3.
Beth, for coming by and spending a little bit of your time with us.
Yeah.
And to you guys, we know that time is your most valuable resource, and we do appreciate that you spent some of that time here with us, whether you're listening to us on the podcast or you're watching us over at YouTube. As always, you can find me on Instagram at agent_JSCHROTH. Kenny, where can they find you, my friend?
You can find me at Instagram at Sir Kennethy, Sir KENNETHY. Message of the day. Just try.
Just do it. Just do it.
Just
There you
do
go.
Do it.
Hi, hey, hello. You'll find me at Total Wines. I need to refill my liquor thinking about Violet Evergarden. Or also on Instagram at cars_and_cosplay. And here are guests.
Oh, hello. Beth, it's, oh my god.
But yeah, plug all of your social
Plug it
media.
up.
My
Oh,
one.
Yeah.
I only have the one.
Yeah, I only have an Instagram
And the
at the
Twitch.
time.
Maybe a soon Twitch.
Whoa.
Maybe a Twitch in the future.
Maybe a Twitch in the future.
See that?
Instagram at Beth of the Wild, just like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, except it's
Just mixing a
Beth
couple letters.
of the Wild.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And don't worry, guys. We'll have all of the we'll have the handles in the description.
Boxes.
Oh,
Boxes.
please, if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell.
Yeah, the bell and stuff.
Very important. And we will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Weeb out.
Bye.
Trailer for the metaverse thing was so funny to me because the little like animation avatar of Mark Zuckerberg looked more real than the actual Mark Zuckerberg.
He's definitely an alien in a suit.
I
Human suit.
swear he is.
That says a lot about Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.